Hello everyone, I'm Colin Canet. One of my subscribers, Phil, asked me quite some time ago if I knew of a way of making ovals. And I'd made a jig for ovals many years ago. I think I still remember how to do it, so let's give it a whirl and see if we can do that. I'm over here at the table saw and I'm going to cut a couple of dados. But before I do that, I want to remind you, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do that, and you click the little link at the bottom of the video right now where it says subscribe. You can do that. Anyway, we're going to cut a couple of dados right now, and I've already set the width, but I still need to set the height. And I'm just using some scrap lumber that I have here, some plywood, some good quality plywood, so this should turn out pretty well. To set the height, I'm just going to raise my cutters here so that they're just equal to the very top. And this is some plastic miter slot material that I cut myself. And this wants to be just about right there. And let's go ahead and make some cuts. Some days I wonder why I keep every little scrap of wood and miter gauge material that I use. Then days like this, I think, this is why, because I get to use something, even a little piece like this. Oh, there's the two halves of the miter slot material that I have, and I need to put a bolt, be able to put a bolt through it, and you can see that that bolt has a countersunk head on it. So I'm, of course, need to countersink these, and I've already set this up, so I'm afraid it might spin on me, so I'm just going to take a second and clamp that to my little fence here on my drill press, and then I can go ahead and drill that. There we go. That's perfect. Okay, here's what we have so far, and these little pieces are moving nice and smoothly, but I'm going to take a second later on and just do a little bit of rounding so that they'll pass smoothly through. Now, I took a minute off camera just to make this stick, and this is basically the arm. And what I need to do now, and it seems to me I remember that you have to start partway up the board, and I'm just going to make a series of holes here because if my memory serves me, I think this thing you can make it adjustable. So I'm going to make a series of holes, and I'm just going to go back to the drill press and do that, and I'll do that off camera. You don't need to see that. And then we'll make some sort of a fastener for a pencil or a felt pen or something up here. So I'm just going to start off and do that series of holes, and then we'll come back and figure out what we're going to do for pencil. Okay, so off camera, I just took a moment and I rounded off all of the bottom so that this won't hang up anywhere when it transitions. But also, I did a quick test of this. I did a sort of a turnaround, and I found that it seemed to bump up against this. So all I've done, again off camera, I just sanded those down so that when that goes around there, and I'll just do that quickly so that you can see what we're working at here, so that doesn't catch in there at all, so it has a nice smooth transition. All right, now the next thing we need to figure out is what we're going to do to fasten a pen or pencil in there, and that also should be adjustable. Okay, I've made like a temporary block thing that'll work for our test right now, but I also discovered, and I remember this from the last one that I made, sometimes there's a little bit of overlap here, so I've just marked on all of the corners here, and I'm just going to take that to the bandsaw and just sort of cut that off. Okay, I did some testing on this paper, and you can see I've got some marks on here, but the piece of paper that I did before, I figured out sort of that the further away these clips need to be, is where you get your better oval, more of an oval. When they're closer together, you get more of a circle, and that just makes sense when I think about it. But I've only got this one piece of paper left, and hopefully I'm going to be able to put this all on one piece of paper here. Make sure we get the whole line here. There we go. There, that took a little bit of working on. So I'll take that off of there. And I'm going to hold this up because you can't really appreciate that while it's laying down, but there you can see the oval. Well, I've spent a little bit more time with this little jig, and you know, I really got to know it a lot better now, and how it works and how to set it up and where the fine points are. So what I've done to simplify things, I've just drilled some holes that are big enough for this Sharpie to go through. But you know what? This arm, you can change this arm. It's really easy. It's just got a few holes in it. It's easy to make, but I wanted to make a little bit smaller version of this oval. So let's give that a try and see if I can get that pen in there deep enough to make a little bit smaller oval. And that should work out nicely. There we go. Look at that. Now in this current version of this, that's about the smallest I can make without doing even more trimming on here. And that's another option if you're making really small ones. And of course there's other ways of tracking around these so that you can make it even smaller than that. Let's put that up on the wall so you can see that. So there's a couple of variations of what this jig will make in its present form, and you can make it bigger or smaller. And you know what? It's easy to change the arm on this too. You could make the arm bigger or smaller, change the hole sequences, lots of different things. You could even put a router, make this a router base so that you could actually use a router and cut that out. So if you're making picture frames, of course, you might want it a little bit smaller, depending on what you're doing. If you're making oval tables, you might even want it larger. So lots of different variations on what you can do with this. That concludes my video for today on the theory behind making ovals and the little jig that you can make to do that with. And of course, you can use ovals for all sorts of different things. You could use them for openings for windows, especially in doors, tabletops, picture frames. You could use it for making arcs. You could adapt your router to it. Just sort of endless possibilities for this. So something you might want to try sometime if you need some arcs or ovals. It's a cool little jig to make. I'm Colin Canet for WoodWorkWeb. Thanks for watching.